familiar. Um, I'm going to, can you guys see my screen with the presentation?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to kind of walk through this here and kind of go through our day to day. So when you arrive at the championship, I think Mallory's been advising everybody 15 minutes before. So when you arrive, you'll go to gate 1, and then you'll kind of grab your scanners and you'll head out to wherever you've been assigned that day. We don't have the scanners yet, but I've been told that they're very, very simple to use. Essentially, we'll have everything programmed for you guys and you'll just turn them on. And then when people come up to you, they'll show you their phone, you'll scan their barcode, and it's as easy as that. If it is denied, it'll show up on the screen as red, and if it's accepted, it'll be green, and it'll make like a fun little dinging sound for you. So during your shift, there are a ton of different places that you could potentially be located. You could be at any one of our hospitality venues. You could be at gate 1, which is our main entrance, or gate 2, which is our VIP entrance. So if you're at gate 1, you could be scanning people at the main walkway, or you could be kind of walking up and down our lines, helping people get their tickets ready, or just checking on people, making sure they're doing okay. In case it's hot out there, we want to make sure that nobody's dropping on us. So during your shift, you'll be answering questions that people may have. I'm sure that there will be plenty since this event is entirely digital. Scanning tickets, getting people's tickets ready for them, whatever it may be. So there will be potential for multiple different jobs. And I'm sure some of them will be pretty exciting. So we'll kind of go through the digital ticket process as well, so I can make sure you guys kind of know the ins and outs of that as well. So the icon for their app stores are different on every device, and I know you guys are probably like, oh, that's kind of a silly thing. I've had so many people ask already what their app store icon looks like. So this is what the App Store icons look like on each device. So this is where they'll find the USGA app that they need to get their tickets. This is the USGA app, so they'll need to download this onto their device prior to the championship, but assuming that some will not, this is where it lives. On their home screens, it'll look like this. They'll need to open this. When they open the app, it'll come up to this screen. They'll need to click the ticket icon up in the right-hand corner. They'll need to click on My Tickets. And then they'll get this screen to sign in. They'll need to enter their email and click Forgot Password in order to create the account in case that they haven't already. They'll have to enter their email here, reset their password. The link comes from Axis in case anybody needs to verify that, which is kind of our whole ticketing platform. So they'll need to enter their new password and confirm that. And then they'll be able to log in from this screen once again. So once they're in, their tickets will look like this. They'll need to click that ticket icon over on the right-hand side. And this is the barcode that all of you will need to be scanning and helping them with to pull up if they don't know where it lives. And then as you can see there too, parking information is on their tickets. So the other thing that we're probably going to get is how to transfer tickets. Again, opening up that USGA app and going to that ticket icon in the corner, My Tickets, and then they'll click on their ticket and click transfer right there under that barcode. So then they'll just enter the information for whoever they want to transfer to, confirm transfer, and that person will need to accept the tickets in order for that transfer to be completed, and then it should be in their account. And it'll look like this in the transfers account. So yeah. Were there any major questions that anybody had right away?
Not a question, but I did this transfer process with my parents a couple weeks ago. It does take some time for the person you're transferring it to get it. It's not instant.
So how long? I'm sorry. How long did it take for you guys to get your tickets?
Probably like 15 to 20 minutes before they showed up.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's pretty standard too. So if people are transferring in line, I think we can kind of pull them off to the side near like the will call area where people can go and like purchase tickets. That way that we can have them up at the front ready to scan when they do receive.
I just have a quick question. If they're transferring tickets, do they send them to their email or does it go directly to the USGA app for them?
So it'll give them an email notification, but the email is more of like their username for the app. So it'll go straight into their account.
Okay.
I have a question. So you can only have one ticket per phone? You have to transfer it to somebody else? Or could you essentially have 3 tickets on one phone?
You could have 3 tickets on one phone. You could have 40 tickets on one phone. You can have a ton of tickets. I just only had the one for an example.
So the reason they would transfer it would be for what reason if they were all in line?
It would just be like if a member of their group couldn't make it at the same time as them, or like maybe missed that shuttle that they had gone on, and was coming at a later time. Really any reason.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So if a person has, say, 5 tickets on one phone and the 5 people are actually there, do you scan it 5 times or how does that work?
So all of those 5 tickets, if you're all going at the same time, they're all under that same barcode. So it's just one scan, or it should just be one scan.
Okay, and then you just count the people.
Yep, you just make sure all the members of their party are together, and you'll just scan that barcode at one time, and those 5 people can go in at the same time.
Okay.
Follow up to that question. Does it tell you how many tickets you're scanning for that barcode?
Yep. So underneath that barcode, it'll say how many tickets are in that person's account for the day that they're attending.
Thank you.
Yep.
So if an individual has 5 tickets and there's one barcode, if they transfer, how does the system know to transfer one ticket versus the 5 they purchased?
You select. So when you click transfer, you would be able to select 2 out of the 5 or 1 out of the 5 or however many from that group that you want to transfer out. And then when you transfer that one out, a new barcode is generated for that ticket as a single or a double or whatever it may be.
Okay.
Another thing to note is that if anybody in line would show up with a paper copy of their tickets, it's important to let them know that those tickets are not going to work. They are not going to scan. If they have those paper tickets and they don't have a smartphone, send them up to the kind of like our main ticket table area. And because they've already purchased, we'll be able to pull up their account and verify their order and give them paper tickets on site. The reason for this is that that barcode that we're scanning regenerates every 60 seconds to avoid any scalpers or anything like that. So anything paper is not going to work day of, and their confirmation emails are not their tickets. So we're kind of assuming that some people may have some confusion there. So it's just another important thing to note upon their entry.
So they get sent to somewhere by gate 1 for that issue paper?
Yep. So myself, and then a couple representatives from Access and the USGA will be at the main entrance in kind of like a will call help area for anybody that has any issues like that. So, and that'll be where you pick up your scanners in the morning as well, or before your first shift.
So if a person has just their email confirmation, is that when we tell them to download the app?
Yep. So then that would be another situation where that you can kind of either pull them off to the side if they're not feeling very confident in their tech skills. If they think it'll be pretty quick, they can stay in line and just download that app and pull that up. And there is on-site guest Wi-Fi, so we aren't expecting any issues as far as that. So the download should work on Wi-Fi and using cellular data.
What is that Wi-Fi code or network? Do you know yet?
So we don't know what the exact name is yet, but there won't be a password to it.
Does everybody coming know that they have to have a digital ticket?
They should. So it's been said pretty bold in all of the emails that are sent in their confirmation emails. It is mentioned the USGA has sent out a couple ticket emails just with kind of some know before you go information that specifies that as well. But there's always people who don't read those emails as closely as they should, or whatever the case is. So they have said it, they should know that. But just in case.
Riley, do you want to talk about the junior ticket policy a little bit and the re-entrance process?
Yes. So juniors is anybody who is 17 and under. They get complimentary grounds access to the event. So they will get a hand stamp at the main entrance, and they get to go in for free. If juniors attend and want to go into a hospitality space, that includes Experience Wisconsin, they do need to be ticketed. The military tickets are pretty similar. We are doing military tickets at the entrance. So they as well just need to get a hand stamp. They do need, both junior and military need to go to the will call table, like we've already talked about, where we will essentially have people stationed to scan these unlimited scan tickets, just so we can get a count of how many of those people did come through the gate. And then after that scan, we'll give them a stamp. So again, that's for juniors and military members. If they say that they are a PGA member, they do need to show identification for that at that ticket table as well. For re-entry, people are allowed to go in and out. They do need to come before they exit. They need to check in at the will call table, get a hand stamp, and then they're free to leave and return. When they return, they do need to show that stamp.
How about credentials for volunteers or like our staff or any of the kind of anybody who may be credentialed, like USGA staff or people like that? How does that work, Riley?
So credentials have a barcode on the corner. Mallory, if you want to show Marlowe's, you can see the barcode there in that corner. So we'll have scanners for those. And then on the side, they have all of those different entry codes. So there is a guide on the back of the credentials, and I can send this group what that looks like. So that'll have all of the different entry codes. So if say you're located at the 18 skybox and somebody comes up with a credential, you would just look at their codes, make sure that they have access to that area, and you would be able to just scan their barcode and let them in. So, and if they have a credential coming through, say like the main entrance, all you really have to do is scan at the main gates. So say like gate 1 and gate 2, you wouldn't necessarily need to look at their access codes for that because every credential guarantees grounds access.
And then something to note too, I've gotten some questions on this, but the volunteer credentials, as you may know, they act as a weekly grounds pass. And so that would also, if they're not coming for a shift, that would also allow them to bring a junior or up to 4 juniors with them. And it would be that same process where they go to the ticket table, the will call table, to get the junior scan going. So just something to be aware of. It's a little bit different, but that does allow them to bring in a junior.
I have a question. Are there no people coming on Monday to watch? Is there no golf going on Monday?
That's a great question. There is golf going on Monday, but we are not open to the general public. We will still have volunteers coming in for orientations for their first shifts. So they will need to be scanned in, and we'll have a few select other groups, but it'll be a kind of quiet training day, if you want to view it that way. You'll be able to get a good handle on it without the pressure of long lines. So we do need you on Monday. That's not a mistake if you're scheduled for Monday.
I am scheduled for Monday, but can I come early and I'll be able to walk around and see some golf, or no?
You would be able to come in early and go to the volunteer tent and kind of walk around a bit there. We are advising volunteers not to stick around too long. We're not going to police it. It's kind of on the honor system, but we're only having volunteers that are scheduled for that day come in for their scheduled shifts.
Which brings up another point. I've gotten paper copies from you with my schedule time, and then I've gotten digital ones that are off an hour. It's very confusing. I mean, I assume the shifts are 7 to 11, 11 to 3, and 3 to 7.
Yes.
But some
yes,
of them,
they are.
mine on my ones that went into my calendar say 6 to 10.
Okay.
10 to 2.
Okay, so that has happened with a few other people as well. Please.
Time zone?
Yeah, the time zone may be off on when you add it to the calendar. So please go by, like you just said, the 7 to 11,
okay.
11 to 3. So what is actually shown in your portal while you're there, that is the correct time. So please double check that. Or if you've added it to your calendar, just double verify within your portal to make sure it either lines up or go with the portal time that is displayed.
Can I go back a couple topics about the re-entry?
Mhm.
If for some reason somebody didn't get stamped on the way out or got washed off and they reuse their ticket,
They cannot reuse their ticket. So that's why it's very important that they get that stamp, because if they don't, we have no way to verify. So it's kind of, if they don't have that stamp and we can't rescan their ticket, they can't get reentry.
All right. Do we have any other questions for Riley? Otherwise, we can let her hop off, and then I'll talk a little bit about the new added championship office supports shifts that may or may not have been added to your schedule. So kind of last call for Riley here. All right. Thanks,
if anybody
Riley.
has any other questions, feel free to reach out to me through my email. I'd be happy to kind of walk through this again with anybody if you need it. So.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Riley. All right. So yeah, I just want to talk a little bit more and then I can answer any general volunteering questions that you might still have. So I know using scanners for the first time, if you haven't done this before, might be a little intimidating, but we have plenty of staff. Riley will be there. And like she said, Access and USGA support staff will also be there to kind of give you the rundown at the start of your first shift. So that you've got it's hard to teach you how to use a scanner when you don't have the scanners. So that will all be done when you first arrive. And then the championship office support shifts that have been added. So we have taken a few of you guys from admissions and will call and added a different kind of shift that is an off-site support role to help staff our championship office. We are over here on Division Street, right next to the Culvers. So if you need to grab a little snack, it's very convenient. Where basically you'll be monitoring our phones, and then we're anticipating some stragglers to still come into the office with last-minute questions, or if they're just not having any luck getting their tickets to download or just need a little assistance with that. Hopefully you'll be able to help them or get them pointed in the right direction. We will have some printouts for you with all the general information that they'll probably be asking about, so you can reference that. And then one other thing is that some parking passes and like vendor credentials may or may not be getting checked out. If there's anybody at Sentry that needs to get on site to fix a problem, they would be coming here to this office to pick that up, and that'll be communicated directly to you via our project manager. And the last thing that you would kind of be responsible for here is any volunteers who haven't picked up their uniforms yet or credentials, and we don't have time to mail them, they would be picking up from here. So we would just ask that you hand over their gear and cross them off that list. Yeah, I think that's kind of the basics there. What questions do you guys have for me? Can be about anything.
How will we know if we're assigned to that office?
So that'll be the shift name is Championship Office Support, and the location is our office. So that'll appear on your schedule.
So
Short question.
Mallory,
Oh, excuse me.
Mallory, I've been assigned to that office, and my hours have changed from 3 to 7 to 1 to 7. That's
Okay.
accurate, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, and we can park right there and
Yes.
show up right there. We don't have to show up at the main entrance.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
So you
you.
don't need a parking pass to park here. We've got plenty of spaces for you. And yeah, you can report right here, and either send me a text that you kind of are checking in virtually, and then we'll kind of have you be, if you're missing your counterpart, there's 2 of you scheduled at all times so that you're never alone in here. So if you do end up by yourself, please reach out to myself or to Randy, and we will track down your counterpart to make sure that you have the support you need.
Okay, now a question: will provisions be made for inclement weather, or are we responsible for our own rain gear and umbrellas and things?
Yep. So we do not provide rain gear for everybody. That's just a lot of volunteers. So anything that you feel you need to be prepared for that day, you are welcome to bring and or wear. It does not have to have the championship logo on it. So any rain jacket, rain pants, umbrellas, things like that. Any style, any color is acceptable. One note about the umbrellas is if it comes in one of those sleeves, take it out of the sleeve and leave that in your car. They won't let you in with an umbrella in a sleeve, but you can have the umbrella. So they've got weird rules for it. And then the only thing, if you do wear a jacket, we would ask that you have your lanyard on the outside of the jacket so that we can still see that you're a volunteer and not a spectator in the wrong spot.
Mallory, can a non-working friend drop us off somewhere so that we don't have to go to the Spash parking lots?
Yep, you can do that. Please note that the roads kind of immediately surrounding the course are going to be closed. The closest point for drop-off will be on North Point Drive between the Century or the Show driveways and the 4-way stop at Michigan and North Point Drive. So you will have to still walk a little bit to that main entrance gate, but you can get dropped off there.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are the 2 entrances that we might be working at, are they covered? Because I assume after they go through, they have to hit security too. And that would be like a tent covering?
Oh, yes. Yes.
So we won't be standing out in the rain?
No, not directly, but you never know what direction it's going to come from. So they're not completely enclosed, but there is a roof.
Okay, but I assume the scanners have to stay dry, so there's got to be some kind of a...
Yeah, as much as possible, yes.
Mallory, will there be bike racks at the entrance in case people want to bike there?
Yep, if you want to bike, there will be some racks placed at the corner of Michigan and North Point, right at the 4-way stop and then the Century World sign. So you can secure your things there and then just walk down a little bit to the main entrance.
Does that include motorcycles?
It does not. It does not.
Oh, well.
You gotta ask. Gotta ask.
How often is the shuttle running between Spash and wherever the other end of that shuttle is?
So we've got a couple shuttles that just loop constantly, and they are specific for the volunteers. You shouldn't have to wait more than 10 minutes between shuttles. Anticipate more of, a 5-minute wait between each one.
Hey, Mallory, if we have Century Club tickets, we can still park at home office even while we're volunteering, right?
Yes. Yep. So if you do have a separate parking pass or you're coming with somebody who is spectating and you just want to carpool and stay together the entire time, you can use lot queue. You can use the show parking if you have that pass. Just make sure that if you do that, that you're allocating enough time that those shuttles might be a little bit busier.
Okay.
Just curious, Mallory, about how many tickets have been sold thus far.
I'm not sure about the exact number of tickets. We are tracking with our goals. We've really picked it up in the past 2 or 3 weeks now that people are thinking about it. We're anticipating anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 people a day on the course. So it'll fluctuate day by day. Thursday and Friday are going to be our busiest days before people might be heading out for the long weekend. Any other questions?
So are
If-
there shuttles going from show to Century World? Or is that walking?
Yes.
If we have that Club Century Pass? Okay.
That is shuttled. And all shuttles are, or not all shuttles, but all lots have ADA accessible shuttles going. So if you do need a lift or like a ramped option, there will be shuttles. You'll just have to make sure that you tell the parking attendant or that shuttle attendant that you do require that so that they can get you on the right one.
I have a question.
Are
about
they
the
doing
volunteer.
the uniform exchange if you need a different size, and where if they are?
So I am working on that right now. I did send out a notice that we had a staff change, so I am kind of sorting through a lot of emails, trying to get that figured out and our inventory taken. We do not have a specific day yet. I'm keeping a running list of the requests and then filling as many as possible kind of as we go. Hope to have that buttoned up by the end of next week. And then either the exchanges will have been made or yours will be set aside for you to pick up in the volunteer tent or at the volunteer party. And then,
Okay.
John, I think you started to ask a question, but you're muted. I saw your mouth moving a little bit before. If you want to unmute yourself, we can't quite hear you. At the bottom, there should be a little microphone button that you can hit. Reinforcements. Perfect.
Control Shift and M should also unmute you.
There we go.
Okay. Would you just give us a very quick synopsis? I have a 7 o'clock appointment at Century World Monday. Where do I go? What's the very first thing we do when we go there? Go to the tent?
Yep, so what's going to happen is you'll park at Spash, get on the shuttle, and they'll drop you right at the main gate. Your check-in location is that admissions and will call tent. So
Okay.
if you don't want to grab some breakfast or fill up your water before you go to the tent, you can just check in immediately, or you can walk right past it and head to the volunteer tent to grab some pastry items or fruit and get your water bottle filled up, and then you can make your way back.
Okay.
So then you'll meet Riley and or Randy and all of the other ticketing support staff there. They'll get you your assignment for the day and get you set up with your scanner, and then you'll go from there. And then you'll just wait for the masses to arrive.
All right. Now, Monday you said is not going to be a real busy day.
Correct. We will still have some other volunteers coming in, so there'll be you do have to scan those credentials for them.
Okay.
So they'll kind of be a guinea pig for our ticketing folks on Monday.
And there will be people there that instruct us how to use the scanners.
Yes.
Very good. That's
Yep.
my question.
They'll get you
Thank
ready to go.
Okay.
Will we be checking in the other workers for other categories also? Will they be coming through our entrance?
So you'll just be scanning them in. You don't need to cross off their name or anything like that. They have other check-in locations.
Okay.
So you'll just be doing the barcode, and then they'll keep on walking.
Good.
In the event of really bad weather, is Sunday the end, or could it trickle into Monday?
It could potentially trickle into Monday, knock on wood. We don't talk about rain delays or suspensions here. We think it's bad karma to even put it out there. So it could go into Monday, and we'll deal with that if it happens. So no concrete plan. That's usually when we just rely on our own staff in the USGA, and it's just kind of a get it finished up as quickly as possible. It's not as pretty as the scheduled days.
After our shift on Monday, are we allowed to go and watch the players practice?
Yep. So like I said before, we're not going to be policing it, but we just ask that you're, very respectful and, kind of, this is a day without fans for them.
Right.
So just watch from afar, and, don't stay too long. We're just trying to keep numbers down, because it is closed to the public.
Very good. There is a section of the fence that has been taken down over on North Point Drive. Is that another entryway into the golf course?
That is the main entryway.
That is the main entryway.
Yes.
Not where they put the new entryway that they've been working on for a long time.
Correct. So that is for players, USGA, and hospitality guests. But the
Okay.
shuttles will be dropping on North Point at where you saw the fence panels out.
Okay. Is there another gate that people can go in, or is that the main gate?
There is that main gate, and then the entrance through the Century World parking lot. But that's, like I said, for players, USGA, and hospitality.
So there could be a lot of people that show up there like
Yes.
Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
So make sure you're ready.
Yeah.
All right, we've just got a couple minutes. I see something in the chat. The visors are in. You can either stop by our championship office on Division Street, or you can just do it in the volunteer tent when you arrive that first day.
I received information last week or yesterday about a possible shift change. Will there still be more shift change coming out?
Randy?
There shouldn't be any more coming up after what is sent today. I did notice a couple of you had some revisions to your schedules back to the old one from the first time that I had sent one out way earlier this spring. I would say go use the second one if you'd noticed changes that we had already taken care of. Other than that, no other changes should be made from a standpoint moving forward on this. We should be good to go.
Thank you.
When is the volunteer party?
June 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Noel Group hangar. And I'll send a reminder about that with the address again.
Do we need
Is
our,
that at the airport?
Yep, that's at the Stevens Point Airport.
Okay.
And we'll have parking attendants there as well, so you'll see a big crowd of people.
do we
Will
need anything to-
credentials be required to come to the party?
No, on the honor system. All right, if that's it, we can call it a night. Thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it. I can stick around for a few more minutes if there's any like personal specific questions you need answered. But
Thank you very much.
thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Another week?
Everybody
you.
see you in a week.